All right, guys, this is an island update here, plus some additional tips, especially with drought conditions coming up here. I'm going to change some of my strategy because of this, but we are now officially listed under a moderate drought. The severe category is not too far off, so if things continue on this path, it will probably be another week, and we could be listed under extreme drought here. It's getting very close. So that's not good news. Uh, I put in tons of hard work and should have a nice lush carpet of fall blends in here. Even in poor soil with all the prep I done, it can still blow up and grow great. But because I don't have the ability to bring water up here, I just have to hope and pray that it's going to survive. And then I'll have to come back in on my own time and re-sow areas that have died or thinned out really bad. The goal for me is no bare soil. I got to have a nice coverage in this island. But considering that we are in a moderate drought, I think this has done extremely well. Everything seems to be really good looking in most spots, but there's other areas that are having a difficult time, which is something you can expect to happen in poor soil. So this whole end here has done remarkably well. A lot of nice green clover, wheat, oats, cereal rye. There's all kinds of turnips, different brassicas in here, winter peas. So there's a high variety that is thriving under terrible drought conditions. And the big reason this is actually still holding on here is because I've softened the soil up. That has allowed the roots in here to get a lot larger than what they used to be. So they've been able to absorb moisture for a longer period of time. So I would say I bought myself maybe an extra week to week and a half, as if rain had never failed. And it has allowed these plants to survive longer. The other thing is this is kind of a sheltered food plot. So you can see the light level in here is just not pure direct light. However, because this is fall time, this is going to rapidly change, and it's already accelerating because of the drought. And now the leaves are turning very quickly and beginning to fall off. You can obviously see over here, if you look at some of my past videos, that is a whole lot more light getting into the forest now. So we have way more direct light increasing. We also have pockets of filtered light that's increasing, and eventually it will turn into nothing but direct sunlight. So the food plot up here is a different animal than my standard large plot out in the field. That always has a source of direct sunlight. The only time the light level varies is the amount of time the sun has when it comes up and when the sun sets. So that level is decreasing every day until December 21st. Up here, even though direct light, by pure amount of sunlight hours available is decreasing, the direct light level in this area of my food plot is increasing. So eventually this whole plot will have nothing but solid sunlight coming in here and help to juice up these plants. It's a totally different situation than your field food plot. So as these plants are growing, it's actually helping to strengthen these plants quite a bit because now they're getting more light. The really dark sheltered areas are not, as dark as they used to be. There's obviously the overall light level in here looks brighter. The back half is becoming the same way now. There's more filtered light seeping into the back half. Even right here is getting more almost direct sunlight at this point. It does in the mornings, but now it's getting to where it might be pretty close to it in the evening. But you can also see the effects of drought here. So I have to give you a few tips on this. One, you can haul water in if you have the ability to do so. And you may have to water your food plot multiple times. Depending on the size of your food plot, you may have to bring in thousands of gallons of water. Or maybe 100 gallons will suit you, or 200 gallons, or 300 gallons. It all depends on how big your plot is and how dry your ground has become. So now that I'm in a moderate drought, we are just so far behind. I think we're like maybe 5.5 to somewhere in that range, inches short of rainfall. And this is 2 years in a row that I have dealt with some form of drought. This one is worse than last year, because at least in late October, middle to late October, the rain came back and we had quite a bit of rain. Well, it's not doing that. It just keeps avoiding us. And I've watched it go around the house multiple times, and people that are about 4 or 5 miles away from us got maybe an inch of rainfall while we got absolutely nothing. So it is what it is. So if you're in this situation, you need water. And because I did loosen the soil up, that helped these roots out. So I think this is really the saving grace for at least what I've got growing now, on top of the other soil prep that I did where I threw humic acid out, trying to stimulate the roots in here. The potting mix that I've dispersed through here has added what moisture it had in there and helped block direct light from baking the ground as much, trying to reserve whatever moisture I can keep in here, which is practically down to nothing. And then you're basically at a hope and a prayer at this point. So if you can't bring water up here, you're basically going to have to hope and pray that at some point you're going to get rain, or have extra seed available. That is a big help to newer food plotters. Don't buy the bare minimum seed that you think you need. I usually buy 2 to 3 times more seed than what I need. That way, if there's pockets in here that failed, like over here on this back half, which I think the absolute poorest soil is on this back half, because at least I did find some pockets of a little bit of organic matter toward the front. Not a lot, but it's enough to make a difference. See back here, a lot of this is dying. Most of this is gone. There should have been greenery here, and there's only little pockets of greenery that's in here. It looks very weak, stringy looking, kind of poor growth. I can't help that. So unfortunately, I can only do so much with the limitations I have. So if you can, buy the extra seed. Even if you don't use it this year, you can store that seed and use it again next year, which means you may not necessarily have to purchase as much seed. You could buy 1 round instead of 3 rounds or 2 rounds and save money the following year. And it's just something I always tell myself: buy extra seed. I mean, I've got enough seed for this island to sow a place that is at least 3 or 4 times this size. I'm not worried about running out of seed, but from the looks of things in here, I'm going to have to at least put a decent amount of new seed on this whole back half. And eventually, when the rain does hit, these plants will come up, but they're not going to be as big as I want them to be. I wanted this established and thick. So a big tip here that I can help you with on this part of the food plot, as far as what to look for. There's another big rock. Get him out of here. Doing a little soil improvements while I'm here. A big tip that I can help you with your fall blends. It doesn't matter if you're in this part of the woods or in your main food plot, however you've got it set up. If your food that you're providing the deer is only staying lip high. I mean, you're talking like a short grazed off field. It looks like, you know, a manicured football field with a short grass growing in it. That's not good for your deer. You need deer taking big bites, so you need depth to your fall blends. I am really happy if I can get this 6 to 7, even 8 inches deep in here when the deer are ready to start eating on it. But due to drought, I can't really get that going. And I do understand there are many situations that may not get you past lip high, but at some points you have to get it above that mark. And if you're fertilizing and watering and it just keeps getting scalped to the ground, one or two things is going to happen. You're going to have to add more food, or you're going to have to kill more does. That doesn't, if you've got too many deer, don't take it out on your bucks. Take it out on the does. Reduce your doe numbers. You want this to grow thick. This will provide so much more food, and the average body weights of your deer will be larger because of the sheer volume of tonnage that is allowed to grow in here versus leaving it lip high, and they have to really struggle to get their belly full eating over this whole, you know, quarter-acre area. So there you go, guys. Video on the island. I also, I totally forgot here. I got an important thing happening now. Because of the drought, there is now a new problem that is emerging. I'm so glad I didn't forget this. I mentioned it earlier about how direct light is increasing in this area of the food plot. Well, that's because the leaves are coming off. So at some point, there's going to be so many leaves in here that it will kill my food plot if it's not strong enough or tall enough to stay above the leaf litter. And normally what I do is I tend to wait and let as many leaves fall off as possible and come in and clean the plot off. But because of the drought, I'm having to change my tactic a little bit, and I will come in here with my leaf blower sometime this week, or probably this weekend, and come up here and clean all these leaves out and try to buy this plot another week or two, because there is a 40% chance of rain possible. So if it does finally hit here, this place will be ready to receive it versus the leaf litter trying to absorb more of it and not get into the soil. I need every drop up here possible working for me and not against me. And then any additional leaves that fall after that is actually great cover to hold the moisture in for a longer period of time until the leaves build up too much and start thinning out my food plot. So I will probably have to come in here a second time and blow the food plot off again, but it's worth it to me because I know that once this place gets going, it's going to be a very valuable deer attractant, and this will help my odds of getting Mr. Clean. If I do get that deer, if I'm lucky enough to kill that deer, you're going to see one happy hunter. I might be crying, but it might be because Dad won't be here. But I will be very, very happy with that deer. And usually I'm not an overly emotional person, but it's just all the stuff that's went on this year. If that comes to fruition, you're going to see one happy camper. All right, guys. I hope this video helps you. If you have different tactics that you like to use, feel free to leave those in the comment section. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do things, but I use a leaf blower. I don't have the ability to bring water up here. I prep the ground the best I can with fertilizers, different potting soil, if I happen to have potting soil left over. And also, I brought my dad's flowers up here from the funeral, and I scattered them over the center of the island. So you may have seen those in that part of the video clip, some of them big green leafers. I think that's a great way to honor Dad, because once he figured out what I was doing, he would Hey, he'd be like, hey, there's some rotten hay up here if you want to put it in your food plot. So he understood what I was doing, and I think that's just an excellent way to honor him, knowing that he has helped me to put something in here to rot with, and he'll help me grow some deer. All right, guys, you have a great day.